If you've seen my short about it, talking about content creation hacks for introverts on social media. I want to make this as simple as possible and actually physically show you what this looks like. So I made a comment on here because I really agree with her. I think Instagram is trying to navigate all of these different algorithms they've implemented, and they're kind of, what I see with a lot of companies, honestly, is they grow super fast and then they are like just all over the place with like, how do we make this make sense for and make everybody happy that's on our platforms, with our business, all of our customers. And it's really tricky as you continue to grow, especially if you don't have a big enough team to navigate it, but also if you haven't done the research, if you're just adding things because they sound like great features, because it's cutting edge and you want to be on top of stuff, you want to differentiate yourself, and then you're stuck in this hole of like, oh wait, like everybody is unhappy. What do we do? So that being said, content creation hacks. So I really love this video. I love her take on it. I'm going to legitimately watch the full version after this video I film, honestly, and after I edit this. But I wanted to pop in here and show the screenshots version. So a lot of times what I'll do before I share a post like this, because I'm going to share it to my stories, I saw like comments on it, but you'll see that I've already made a comment. So I'll go to comments and I'll scroll to where my comment is after I make it. Now, this is not like I only made the comment to screenshot it and use it in my own content. No. I interact with the people that I follow and my audience. If I think it's insight and it's interesting and like it's something I'm going to watch and I'm going to look into, and I think my followers should watch it, but I want to give them a little more incentive to go and watch it, I'll be like, oh, this would be a really great thing to post in my stories and for people to actually like go click that link, go check it out. And I didn't see anything in her actual description about where to watch this video. You know, if I read it from here, I'm like, where do I actually go to watch this video? I don't see a click link in my bio or anything. Like, it's kind of assumed. I can even look in here and I'm like, okay, well then I'm just gonna make this as simple as possible. So I'm gonna take a screenshot. What I do is I pull it up, so I'll click on it and I'll actually like cut it down. Now this is harder to do if you only have like one sentence. So I always try to give a little bit more, and so I'll hit done. I'll save to photos. I've actually saved this twice. And when I go to share it, a few tricks that I do. So first I'm gonna choose a color that I wanna use. That's the highlighting option. I'll show you why I use that later. And I'm gonna put like a lavender color. You can like take a screenshot of your branding colors and like pull that up and all of that stuff. I can show that in a different video if you want to see it, but I'm going to use the purple. I'm going to click done, or because this is not my own video, I could use like a pink color that I really like, or I use sometimes like a purplish color, like a more burgundy, magenta kind of color, so I could use this. And sometimes I'll add text, but what I'm looking for, you see that circle in between countdown and food orders? I'm going to click that. And you're like, ignore all the screenshots, honestly. But I'm going to click that. And now I have a nice little thing, and I can add like GIFs. Honestly, do you say GIF or GIF? I need to know. Just that's a side comment. And I'll type in like, watch this, or I could say that like in text form. And if I don't see one that I'm like really vibing with, I'll be like, oh, okay. And I actually like this currently watching. And so I'm going to put it here. And like it'll have sound on it and everything. So I'm going to add that to my stories. And that's just like a quick way to add to your stories. You can do like a comment like that. Like maybe you're doing a remix, and so you have the content play before, and then you like have a screenshot, but you obviously need to make it bigger. Like have a background to it just so it matches. There's so many ways that you can do this, honestly, but that's a really, really easy way to do like add to story content or anything like that. Another thing that you can do is, hi there. So you can go to story, and I'm going to go click this little arrow on the top where it said recents, and I'm going to look for time lapses. Excuse all the stuff that's in here. So I'm going to go down to where it says media types. I'm going to click on time lapses, and I'm actually like, maybe I want to post to my story about how I was editing the other night. So I can do things like this. I was editing a bunch of branding photos. What I like to do to make it pop a little bit more is hit draw, hit the highlighter option. That's what that thing is in the middle. I usually use black. You really can just click on it, and then I press that, like press and hold, and that darkens the background. Why this is nice is your text will end up actually showing up a lot better. I'm going to turn my brightness on up a little bit. And so you could type like, let's see, what do we want to text? We could say things like, adding a few, branding photos to gift this weekend. I'm actually going to start doing this in a second. And another cool trick that I like to use that same purple. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I'm not saying this is perfect. And I can like stick it up here. I can add it down here. I can add things like stickers. You always want to add interactive elements. Shout out to my friend Sasha because she's actually already talking about this. So interactive elements, we're going to start seeing them a lot more. It's going to be about like interactive marketing. How do we make the experience more interactive? What kind of elements are we adding to really engage our audiences and make them a part of the conversation, not just talk at them? 9 times out of 10, people are like, yes, they're engaged and they're invested, but you get more action, you get more results when it's in like a back and forth conversation versus just a one-sided conversation. So I could post that. I'm not going to because I've already used this, but I can discard it. I can also save it as a draft. Another thing that I love to do is carousels, and you'll notice this on my post again. So I'm going to back out. I'm going to go to profile. Gonna keep scrolling till I can get to a carousel. So I changed it up a little bit. It's been looking like this, and I've just been using 6. I changed the colors up, but honestly, it's just, and at the end, I'm always like, this is who I am. And I always tell people to check my captions of my posts on Instagram because honestly, I be dropping gems. I'm long-winded. I can't help it. Like, you're gonna get gems. So, I've talked about content pillars. This is currently boosted. So yes, I'm boosting posts on there. If you want a video on like the benefits of that, the growth that I've seen with that, anything like that, let me know. And then, this is another way for your content to live. So this hot take, I could easily do a video on this. Like on systems, I could do about like, this is 3 steps, 2 systems. It sounds far-fetched. It sounds wild, but brain dump, sort the chaos, and structure the system. In a nutshell, that's the 3 steps I think that you can use to create your first system. I'm not saying your first system is going to be perfect. There are marketing system, operation systems, but you have to, systems are basically like the who, what, and when. It's kind of like a little bit of everything, honestly, because it's their task in there. There are people, there's platforms. So it's everything that you use to achieve a certain business goal. So let's say like to attract leads on Instagram. So get them to sign up for your email list from Instagram or get them to purchase an ebook, anything like that. Systems, and this is like a side conversation, is just a really good way to like make sure that you're having, and we know algorithms are a thing and different things play into this, times of posting. Like there's other factors we have to consider, obviously, right? But like the system to getting this up, like so that it's like a standardized system, a standardized way to do things, especially as you like onboard team members, as you get bigger, you like pretty much map everything out. So I absolutely love this. I could talk about operations systems and optimization forever in a day because I feel like it's the thing that gets overlooked, especially when it comes to like standardization, documentation. People are like, you don't need that. And I'm like, if I hear one more person say that, I'm literally going to lose it. So if you want me to go over like standardization, let me know. I can totally do that. But carousels are really something that I started doing and people are just like have been loving them. I even did one on, colors. And it might be colors just like or coolors. There's just so many ways you could say this, right? But I even like added a little video in Canva. The video's not super clear, but the idea was that I was giving them information on why you would even use this. So there's that one. I have carousels with like different colored backgrounds of my branding color. There's so many ways you can use carousels. I am not going to say that I'm not watching Adventure Time now, because I totally am, but and that's obviously because I've changed my branding and stuff, right? And I'll probably start doing these affirmations again because we're getting closer to the new year. By the time you see this video, it might have already happened, and that's totally fine. But, I did educational posts on like creating like brand identity, why it's important, what that includes. And so it's really a way for you to inform, influence, and inspire your audience without you having to ever show your face. These posts right here, I've boosted them before, right? So if I go and look at my ad insights, 30 saves, 9 shares. Look how many people I reached. It's like 36,000 people. Most of them, I don't think, were following me at all. Most of them were women. They were between the ages, most of them 18 to 24, where they were at. What I run, I spent $10 on this. I had 113 ad taps. I'm trying to remember if this was one where I was driving them to my website. Can't quite remember, but again, I can do a whole separate one on boosting post. I did this on Can't Think of What to Post, and I'll actually probably redo this very soon. Things like Morning Mondays, Tech Tuesdays, Working Wednesdays, Thoughtful Feel Good Friday. Things to make it easier, again, for content creation for introverts, but small business owners in general, because one of the things that you are already doing everything usually as a small business owner. And if you're not, you have a very small team if it's not just you. And so y'all are all wearing multiple hats, and you're sitting here like, marketing on top of everything else that I'm supposed to be doing. Are you kidding me? And so it gets stressful, but you don't have to worry about that. So things like, what are questions that you get all the time, or what do you often see when people are like, I can't think of what to post? That was something. And so it became such a big hit that I ended up doing like 4 posts about it. I was only going to do the one, and then people were like, oh wait, this is actually super helpful, like super helpful. And so if you see me redo this post, act like it's the first time you've ever seen it, because repurpose, because not everybody's seen it yet. And obviously, like, you were like, wait, you already did one on brand identity. I saw it. Yes, but when I changed my branding, I reposted again with some additional information. And even though this was like slightly the same, you can always do a best of, like, look at your, let's see, we'll actually do this right now. Yes, y'all are getting all of the ways to content create. So I gave you like screenshots and time lapses and carousels. But now I'm giving you insight into how I repurpose content. Y'all are getting over today. So I would say the last year, I don't know if I can do that. That's okay. I'm looking at the content I share. Apparently I've only done 3 posts and like 14 reels. Okay, that makes more sense. But a lot of stories honestly are just, it's where it's at. So I can look at this. I can look at post. Let's go into post, if it will load. And that's the last 3 months. But, this is how you get last year. And this is looking at my reach. Over the last year, this has been doing numbers. My creating your brand identity, can't think of what to post, my branding lowdown. I could literally take the first 9 to 12 posts, or I could even go further if I want to do like a challenge in December of like 30 posts. I could take all of these posts and recreate them. Challenge yourself. So like creating your brand identity, how to create content easily. These are creating content creation. It's already one of those things, as you can see, that people are like, oh, and like how to get it organized, how to like the best way to take your brand from blah to wow, time management, who I serve is on here. When I was doing different, this, like, I think this was a reel, I want to say this was potentially a reel about, just starting a new chapter. But this is an easy way for it to be, okay, last year, this is all the posts that did really well. and to go through, look at the caption, look at stuff, start pulling data, you put it in Notion, ClickUp, Monday, wherever you're keeping track of your task and your data research and all that stuff, Google Workspace, wherever it is, and start doing the research and getting yourself prepared. Even if you don't repurpose every single post that's listed here in the last year, within the next 30 to 60 days, or next 30 days before the year ends, if you're watching this in real time, then guess what? You can repurpose it later. That content doesn't have to post once and then you never do it again. I mean, really timely content like Halloween things around holidays, of course, you post it at a certain point and then it kind of once that holiday is over, you kind of don't post it either for a while, or you post it again the next year in a different way or the same type of content. This is different. A lot of this content I created is evergreen that people can come back to over and over, especially because so many new business owners will be starting in January because people will be like, I'm sick of this job, or I need additional income on top of my full-time job, which is pretty much the consensus of a lot of my clients, is that they're building businesses, not side businesses on top of having a full-time job, because that's just the reality of things. Most people can't have one income in the household or even two in the household anymore. It's too expensive to live that way, and we have to have 3 to 4. And some of those have to be passive. Some of them, maybe it's just that we enjoy the work that we do. It's very rare nowadays that I feel like people have one job, one income on a household, and everybody's good. People want a certain lifestyle and they're willing to work for it. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. If you have questions, comments, if you want me to go over what I've noticed in my stories, other content creation, other things for introverts, things that you're having issues with as a small business owner, as an introvert in business, anything like that, because I am a branding and marketing strategist. The lowdown is really about branding, marketing, and operations. So if it's systems, if it's standardization, if you're okay, I don't want to have to create an SOP from scratch, please help me. A standard operating procedure, and you're I need to know what that is, how to use it, how to utilize it as a small business owner. Please help me so that I'm not scrambling when my company gets bigger. Don't want to be one of those companies scrambling. So let me know. And I'm going to keep messing with this to see actually which stories are performing super well, because, oh, look at that. All my photographer ones. Good to know. Okay. I'm going to go now. And if you have any questions or comments, let me know.